disingenuous. He stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry about the drop-offs here and there. I had to get my equipment looked at. I was having some technical difficulties, so now that we've got all that out of the way, if you guys like the content, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe. And I've been told that my notifications are not going out as they should. So if you could check in every now and then and make sure that I haven't done a show or something that you might want to check out, that'd be nice. So I'd appreciate that a whole lot. So, and hit that notification button. Appreciate that. So today, we're going to take a look at an article that I came across, and it's called, starts out with, Am I Crazy? I've paid my fiance's rent for 9 years and spent $10,000 improving her home. She's also listed on my health insurance. What should I do? Okay. So we're going to take a look at this. And you guys probably know what I'm going to say about this. It sounds a bit like a bit of usury to me. But she looks like she took full advantage of this gentleman. It says also that I am now paying $1,100 a month in rent. I am also paying her $200 health insurance premium. He sounds like Timmy Tucker, the neighborhood sucker to me. I don't know, but let's take a look at this. We're going to delve into this a little deeper and see what comes up. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let me get everything queued up here. And let's take a listen.
Am I crazy? I've paid my fiancée rent for 9 years and spent $10,000 improving her home. She's also listed on my health insurance. What should I do? This feature is powered by text-to-speech technology. Want to see it on more articles? Give your feedback below or email audio feedback@marketwatch.com. I have a situation that is causing a lot of issues in my relationship. We have been dating for 17 years, have lived together for close to 9 years, and have been engaged for 6. When I moved into her house, we agreed I would pay $600 a month in rent. Over the years, I have increased how much I pay in rent and have taken on other expenses, such as the $300 cable and internet bill. I have also contributed toward some home improvements, spending about $10,000 in total. Advertisement. Additionally.
Okay, let's stop it right there. So, first of all, guys, never, ever, ever move in with the young lady or old lady that you're about to get involved with. That's just a no-no. What kind of man moves in with the woman? You're supposed to have your own stuff. She moves in with you. And no man is going to be charging his girl $600 a month in rent, or taking on the cable bill, or paying $10,000 on improvements to his house. I know it's different for men and women, but she's taking full advantage of this guy. Making him pay rent, making him take on a couple of bills. Then he cracks down $10,000 on a home that's not even his. Don't do this. Please don't do this. But let's get a little bit more context with this story here.
When we go out to eat, which is probably 60% of the time, I usually pay. I am now paying $1,100 a month in rent. She has retired and is listed as a domestic partner on my health insurance. I'm also paying her $200 health insurance premium. However, her previous employer reimburses for health insurance costs, and she keeps that money. She says she subsidized my rent 9 years ago to help me out financially, and this is now payback since I am debt-free.
Ooh, okay. All right. So they go out to eat. 60% of the time he pays for it. Okay. So he's living with her. He's got to pay for the food also, when they go out 60% of the time. Okay. She also bumped his rent up to $1,100 a month. She retired and basically is living off of her retirement. And he's paying for her to have health insurance, which should be, taken care of through her retirement. And like it says here, well, it is taken care of because it says that she's being reimbursed for health insurance. I'm also paying $200 health insurance premium. However, her previous employer reimburses her health insurance costs. So she's getting reimbursed for health insurance that she's not even paying for, and she keeps that money, and he allows her to keep that money. Let's just call it what it is, because he's a sucker, and he's basically allowing this woman to basically lead him around by the nose, and she's milking him for all the money she can get out of him. I mean, this reeks of usury. So let's see. Let's go on down here, and I guess we'll take this step by step here. Here we go.
Advertisement. Her previous employer reimburses for health insurance costs, and she keeps that money. Wait, what? I paid her exactly what she asked for back then without question. And there was no discussion that the agreed upon rent was below market value or being subsidized by her. This has caused a rift in our relationship, as we view money very differently. I am pretty generous with it. The cherry on top is that we both have trusts, and she refuses to tell me any details about hers. If she were to die tomorrow, I would be in the dark. She knows all the specifics of mine, including the fact that she is included in it. Am I crazy to feel this way about the rent, the health insurance, and the trust?
Yes, you are fucking crazy, because you are sitting here doing all of this, and you say we both have trust, but she doesn't tell you anything. You tell her everything, and she doesn't tell you anything. You giving up all of the money, and you got her on your, probably got her on your life insurance and everything else, and the big elephant in the room is you're not married to this lady. You're not married to her, and you're giving her all of these wifely benefits. And for what? You say you have trust, but she doesn't tell you anything. Then she tells you that she was subsidizing your rent, which was below market value. Who talks like that? She's talking about you and about, the agreements that you guys have as if she's some kind of shiesty lawyer or something. So it just doesn't sound right to me. And still, trust. Excuse me. She refused to tell me any details about hers. And if she were to die tomorrow, I would be in the dark. She knows all the specifics about mine, including the fact that she is included on it, which is an insurance policy. Okay. Am I crazy to feel this way about the rent and the health insurance and the trust? Yes, you are. You are supposed to be asking these questions. You were supposed to ask these questions before you even got involved with her. And I think you know that you didn't properly vet this lady. So you got sucked into this deal. You've been living with her for the longest, and you're taking care of everything like it's yours, but it's not yours. Truth be told, she kicked you out tomorrow. You wouldn't have a pot to piss in. You'd have to start over and go and build everything up from rubble. This lady's not being truthful with you. She's not being genuine with you. I don't think she really even gives a shit about you, really, to tell you the truth. But she's taking advantage of the monetary situation that you allow her to be in by paying for everything and paying for the food, paying for, the cable, all of this stuff. So basically there's a lot of bills that she just doesn't have to pay. Her money's, just stacking while you are spending money because you're generous. But you're generous with the wrong person. You're being taken advantage of. So let's move on.
Appreciate your guidance. Dear Appreciate. You're not crazy. You're stuck in a rut. We could go back and forth all day about who is being unfair to whom. But whether or not either of you believes the original rent was below market value, you both agreed to it. It seems likely that you believed it was a fair price. There were no blindfolds or lottery tickets involved. You came to an arrangement that suited you both at that time, and you both walked into that arrangement with your eyes open. And over the years, you and your fiancée have benefited from living together. You have a place to live, and she gets extra income.
Okay, let's stop it there. Okay. So obviously this person is trying to go light on him. He's saying, you agreed, whether it was unfair or fair to whomever, you both agreed to it. So it doesn't matter if either you believes the original rent was below market value. Well, she didn't even say that, and he says you both agreed to it. No, he agreed to it. She threw it out there and he agreed to it. And I'm sure he was blinded by, the sex he was getting or, the vibes she was giving him about how the relationship was. She was probably leading him to believe that the relationship was probably more than what it actually was to her. And she saw that she was able to get some money out of him. She might have, scoped this guy out, before she ever really got truly involved with him, because he's a mark. He's free with his money. He's not really hard on his women. He sounds like he's a soft guy, and he's just, trying to take care of his girl, but his girl is shysty. So it says there are no blindfolds or lottery tickets. I think there was some blindfolds. I think he's already said that she is not telling him everything. She's keeping some things to herself. She's not being forthcoming with information. With regard to the money, insurance policies, all these types of things that he thinks that he should be involved with, but if you want to be involved with all those things, you want to have those things locked down, you should have married her. And there's something, why my deal is, why is it that you're not married to this lady? You've been with her all this time, but you're not married to her. There's something wrong with that scenario. You're expecting all of this inclusion into her money and her legal situations, insurance, the house, all the things that she owns. You're paying for insurance. You're paying for all these things, yet she's not including anything. That is a prime indicator that she's probably not going to include you into those things. She's probably going to send that money to somebody else, or whatever she's got planned for it. But it's clearly doesn't have anything to do with you. So let's take a look at the other advice that he's going to be given.
Advertisement. The problem, I believe, is bigger than that $200 health insurance premium. It seems that resentments have built up over time. Perhaps due to the amount of money you have spent on renovations or on the health insurance premium. Or perhaps because of the underlying imbalance of financial power. I suspect it is a little bit of both, perhaps with more dissatisfaction due to the latter. She is the homeowner, and you are the de facto renter. There are no victims here, only
Shit. There's no victims here. Yes, there's a victim here. See, nobody gives a shit about the men who are taken advantage of in situations like this. They only care. Now, if you flip this around and this was a woman, there would be all kinds of hellish vitriol being thrown at this man, for doing this woman like this. But because it's him, there's no victims involved. He was a volunteer. I somewhat agree with that. Yeah, you're volunteered for it, and you need to be taken to the side by some men to tell you what the hell's wrong with you, But clearly you have a guy who wasn't raised right. He's looking at this woman like she's just this altruistic, beautiful, loving individual that he can trust. Yet she's showing all of these indicators that she can't be trusted. And then this person is saying you volunteered to live in her home. I bet you $10 to a doorknob that she invited him to live with her. Come live with me, blah, 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 blah. No guy just comes up, unless he's just a loser, comes up and says, oh, let me live with you. And if he did say that, most likely the woman would be like, what the hell you want to live with me for? What's wrong with you? No one looks at that like that's a good situation. But for some reason, he's living in this house with her and he's giving up all of this money, tricking off on this woman. And just doesn't make any sense. This is the very reason why men should be advised by other men. They should surround themselves with men who have had experiences in life that can kind of lead them in situations like this. This is definitely not being handled like a man should handle this situation. This woman is in total control of this situation, and this guy's asking these questions like he doesn't know which way to go. It's because he was not raised right. He was not raised right. And he can't understand why this woman is treating him like this, because he sees this woman, and all women, I would dare say, as these sweet, delicate individuals who just don't do evil things. He sees her as a princess. He's just waiting for her, to give him the cue to where he's accepted fully. And that's what he wants. He wants to be accepted fully, and he wants to be in control of the situation, yet she won't allow him to be in control. See, and that's where it's jacked up. This is not a submissive relationship, except for on his end, he's submitting to her, and it's not working. He's being submissive to this lady, and she's taking advantage of him. Yes, there are victims in this. No victims, volunteers. That's bullshit. She's taking advantage of this guy. He's living in this house. He's paying all of this money, yet he's not getting anything out of it. This is bullshit. But let's go. Let's move on.
Volunteers. You volunteered to live in her home for the past 9 years and to pay for improvements that added up to $10,000. I agree that's a lot of money at first glance. But keep in mind that houses are expensive to maintain. Property taxes, mortgage interest, gas and electricity, etc. What's more, that $10,000 equates to about $93 per month over the years you have lived there. Chalk it up to wear and tear.
Yeah, let's stop it there. It's $93 a month over the years, but that's not his expenses. That's her house, not his house. All he was responsible for was that $600. And then when she bumped up to $1,100, if he wanted to do that, he was responsible for the $1,100. He's not responsible for any repairs, upkeep, none of that stuff. He did that probably because she asked him, and he said, yeah. When they went out to go eat, he was expected to pay for those meals. So you can say what you want to say. You can make this look like it's something other than what it looks like, but this lady is using this man, and this happens all the time. These guys will sit up and these guys glow in the dark for these women. They know when they have a sucker dude that's out there and they take advantage of the guy. The guy tries to date him or whatever the case may be. They see that he's free with his money. He's easily led, and they take advantage of these guys. And nobody's coming to save these guys. In the end, this guy will lose all of his money. He'll lose everything that he's invested into this woman, his time, everything. And it's going to be all for nothing. Why would you be the one for 9 years and invest all of this money and you're not married to her? You're looking stupid. Very stupid. Let's move on.
Goodwill and miscellaneous contributions. The other inequity relates to your respective trusts. Your partner is not transparent about how much money is in her trust and whether you are a beneficiary. Once again, this is part of a larger problem, a curious lack of financial faith. It's curious because you have hashed out your financial responsibilities, and yet your arrangement has so many deep-rooted problems for both of you. This may be one reason your engagement has stretched to 6 years. If you feel your options are limited, you may be more willing to agree to things that make you unhappy. With the important caveat that I have only heard your side of the story. There is a certain callousness at worst, or insensitivity at best, to your fiancé's comment that she was subsidizing your early years of rent. While it's your responsibility to be aware of the rental market rates, this is yet another important nugget that was left untouched, until now. Resentments are like dry rot in the structure of a house. They grow deeper over time, weakening the fundamentals of the relationship.
Yeah, that's important. And this segment that they have up here, if you feel like your options are limited, you may be more willing to agree to things that may make you unhappy. Okay? That happens all the time, where people are in situations with people and they only like a certain aspect of that individual. When you find yourself with a woman and all you like is the sex, or you're with a woman and all you like is just her personality, but the sex is garbage, and you go ahead and you take that relationship further and further, thinking that you'll be able to handle that, when you're basically just not being truthful with yourself about how important that aspect of the relationship is. Don't ever do this. If the situation is not what it should be, it's like going to get a car, getting a car with some messed up rims and saying, okay, well, I'm going to get this car and then I'll go out and then I'll just get some rims. How about you just get a car with everything on it working? Nobody wants to take a car off the lot and have to fix things on it. Nobody wants to buy a house and have to go in and fix things on it. You want the house ready to go as soon as you move in it. So that's just not a smart thing to do. Okay. So again, we get down here and we talk about the trust issues. Obviously, and he says fiancé. I don't think he ever said that this lady was his fiancé. I don't remember him saying that. Maybe I missed that part, but she's using terms that basically just show she's just not trustworthy, and that this is more of a business arrangement with her than a romantic interest, where she's with her man and they're moving towards a set goal, getting married or whatever the case may be. I just don't see that in this situation. But let's move on.
Advertisement. I have a few questions for you. Do you want to remain living in her house after you get married? Do you have a home of your own? Do you have enough savings that you could buy your own home? Assuming that living with your fiancé is plan A, what is your plan B if you break up? Is this an otherwise happy relationship? My reason for asking: if you feel your options are limited, you may be more willing to agree to things that make you unhappy. By picking up the check in a restaurant, you may feel like you are restoring some kind of financial equity to the relationship, but that is fleeting. You are the one in charge on that night by virtue of paying for your fiancé's meal. But, A, that is part of a long, gendered social contract that is changing with the times, and B, it does not alter the fact that you are living in your partner's home. And if the relationship ends, so does your living arrangement. Ultimately. See, this is a modern woman relationship here. And you find this guy, it's just like I was saying, this guy is, every situation he's trying to wrestle away primacy, with this relationship. He's trying to be the alpha in this relationship, but she doesn't want to be led. She's acting like an equal. So every time he tries to be, the man in this relationship, it's wrestled away in some way. So it's like a battle. You're doing in a tug of war, with this woman, and it's almost like you're competing for the top spot, and it's uncomfortable. That's why he's feeling the way he's feeling, because he cannot maintain the position that he's supposed to be in this relationship. And that's why so many of these relationships fail, because the man doesn't know where he fits in. And the woman starts to act like a man, thinking that that's what's attractive to the man, but it's not, And then she's sucking him dry for all this money. And it's like he said, you have your primary objective in this relationship. What is it?
And if that doesn't work, what's your secondary objective in this marriage? Are you going to be able to get out of this marriage and then be okay? If you're asking him, whether he has a house or he's able to purchase a house, then you're looking at him him leaving this situation. Why would you be looking for a house or trying to buy a house when you're with a woman who has a house? Because I guarantee she's not going to give up that house. Whereas if she was really for him, yeah, she could give up the house and use the house as a secondary income, while they live in another house that he's paying for. And then that'll be their house instead of her house, But the traditional ways are being stomped in the ground by these type of women because it's being taught in the schools. It's being ingrained in them that basically they should be a man and, advertise themselves as a man. Their resume sounds like they're a man, and they think that they're going to be all right with this. But no man wants to compete with his woman. No man wants to be in a situation like this where, you're paying your woman to stay with her, even though you guys are engaged. It's not our stuff. It's her stuff. And she's saying it's her stuff over and over and over. So that this situation is wrong, but you're still staying in it and you're staying in it for something. And I guarantee you're staying in it for sex. And you're hoping that you can get her to come around and start acting like you want her to act. But she's never going to come around. So you might as well go ahead and go get somebody else. Find somebody that's going to be submissive to you. And that's going to be and your position is not going to be questioned in the relationship. But this is just a no-go. This is a bad situation from start to finish. So let's move on.
It's important not to hold up your $10,000 renovations or $200 a month health insurance payment as leverage in the overall balance of power in the relationship. While those gestures show a great deal of goodwill, they also come with a gift tax. The more you pay and the longer you live under that roof, the more you may feel that you have a right to live in your fiancé's home indefinitely. But the hard truth is that there is only one person's name on that deed. And that's the person who ultimately calls the shots. Advertisement.
See?
Fellow Quentin Fottrell.
There it is. You don't have any say in that situation because legally there's only one person's name on that deed. This person is telling you everything you need to know about that situation. There is no, you're fighting, for your spot in this relationship, and hers is locked in. It's legally locked in. She can put you out at any time. So there's no way that you can actually be in charge in this situation because she's not going to allow you. The way the money's set up is not going to allow you to be in charge. She always has an ace in the hole with you. And this is a sad situation for a man to find himself in. But, this isn't a new situation. We hear about this stuff all the time. And yes, no, let me take that back. No, you are not crazy. You're not crazy. Your common sense is telling you to get the hell out of that relationship. And I agree with your common sense. This is your sixth sense telling you that this lady is no good for you. You spend enough money on this lady. I would suggest that you get out of this relationship and try to get your life together. Because this lady is, she's damaged goods. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and we can talk about it a little bit. But this just doesn't look like a good situation for this individual. It stinks to me. I just don't know how he can look at himself in the morning, with this woman making these requests of him, because I don't think he's telling the full story of how all of this stuff is coming around. How did he start paying this stuff? I know he just didn't come out of his pockets and just say, hey, I'd like to just pay for some improvements on the house. Oh, baby, I'd like to pay you $600 to live here with you. Oh, and by the way, can I pay for 60% of the meals when we go out? And I don't believe it's 60% of the meals. I believe you pay for 100% of the meals when they go out. No man pays for 60% of the meals. Come on. Do you think does that woman sound like she's a woman that would allow him to only pay, for 60% of the meals? I don't believe that. I believe he was trying to save face with that. But this is a garbage deal. I don't know how he could even do anything like that, but it just stinks to high heaven to me. But you guys let me know in the comments, and I appreciate you guys listening. I'll see you next time.